Nice. Okay, so when we're all ready, we're going to take a deep inhale. And as we release, we're going to say, No, I'm absolutely fucking joking. So, I'm going to tell you why the world is so fucked up. You want to know? I'll tell you why. Oh, I need that clicker thing. Right, bear with me because I might go the wrong way. Told you. No? Yeah? No? Someone? Anyone?
Is it plugged into my laptop?
Maybe. I'm going to have to go the old school way. Talk about an anticlimax. Right. The reason that the world is so fucked up is because of Amazon. Even worse, Amazon Prime. Thank you. There you go. Oh, he took my punchline there. Amazon Prime. Who needs it? Do you know what I mean? You can order something and you get something like literally hours later. What is that? That is like fucked up. A ready meal. Even worse, an M&S ready meal. Why the hell would you make a bolognese when you can get an M&S ready meal, right? WhatsApp. Someone messaging me. I am busy, like, leave me alone. And then the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, and sorry if we have got any viral influencers in here, but viral videos, like, no, that's just wrong. What do all these things have in common, guys? Just shout it out at me. Anything. What can you see? Very nice. Yeah, similar, kind of. Yeah. It gives us a distorted perception of time. I mean, if you look at Amazon Prime, you don't even think about where these things are coming from. They've been in a warehouse, they've had to go on a ship, blah, 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 blah. Yet it's arriving at your door an hour later after you order it. Like, how are we ever meant to understand how things work? People have grown the tomatoes that you're eating. You're never going to think about that. Maybe when you buy them or grow them, but getting something like that, I mean, it's not how life works. Instant message. Yeah, you're instantly messaging me, but I'm not instantly available, you know? I'm busy. Or I'm not. I'm on my phone and I'm reading your message, but I just don't want to chat to you. I'm still busy. And then finally, you've got viral videos. Now, it literally sends a 16-year-old to become a billionaire from one video. And look, good for them, mate. Good for them. But, like, you know, I think that what we need to remember is that the average age of a millionaire, I believe, is 57. An average company to be profitable can take like 3 years. I think to get to a point where you're actually going to sell out a business is like 7 years, like at least. And in order to get a skill, you know, under lock and key, they say it's like 20 hours. It's not 20 hours. Like, you know, to be a real expert takes a really long time. So why am I saying that to all of you today? Because often our perception of happiness is tainted by this idea of time, this distortion of time, this idea that we go and try and achieve our goals and they aren't achieved within like a week because, you know, if an Amazon Prime came a week, it would be late. Then me not achieving my dreams, it's lost in the mail. Like, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to do it. But the other thing is we live in such a fast-paced world, as we saw from everything there. So slowing down is just something that we are not comfortable with. We don't know. And as a result of that, we never slow down. And if you're not slowing down and acknowledging your journey and what you're thinking and what makes you happy, you're never going to find your life's purpose. So I guess there's loads of different goals of today. And in my head, even standing up here, and I want to kind of give an intention and a purpose for what this chat is. And it seems quite far-fetched from everything I've just said, but I'm going to give you the purpose and intention of this chat because it's also the purpose and intention of my life, which is just to make you guys feel lucky that you're alive. Like, regardless of purpose, regardless of happiness, just want you to be able to be like, oh shit, that's fucking cool. Like, yeah, I'm alive. So, yeah, on that note, I also invite, is anyone here like a visionary? So like when you read a book, do you get like a mini movie in your head? Yeah. Okay, cool. So hence the buckets. So I go off on tangents. You've probably already noticed that. And I can also go quite hippie, as you may have noticed from the outfit. So I invite you all to have a bullshit bucket. Like something I might say might just not resonate with you. Just throw it in the bullshit bucket. Be done with it. That's cool. And then you've got a take home bucket. I don't care which one's more full, but as long as we're taking home something, then I'm happy. Okay, so this is my most uncomfortable slide. It's me. Oh my God, don't look. I genuinely, like, I'm actually like, I'm stuttering, I'm choking my words. I always do when it comes to talking about yourself. Like, what is that? Okay, but hi, I'm Jessie, everyone. Nice to meet you. And to give you a bit of background, but not a life story, I'm going to give you my life story. I worked in corporate sales for 10 years. I absolutely loved it. Like, I'm a salesperson through and through, love having a chat, helping people with their problems. I was the first person in the office. I was the last to leave. If I do something, I do it wholeheartedly. I do it with passion. I also love going out and having a laugh. And when you're paid to take people out and try and get them drunk and make them sign stuff, that's cool for a young girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was fun. But I gave my all to it. I gave my everything to it. And do we have anyone that works in corporate, the world at all here? Just like a little wave. Yeah. It's intense, isn't it? Like, you've got to show up in the office, or, well, I don't know if you work from home anymore, but you've got to show up every day. That's a lot, you know, and we've got life as well as that. And life is a lot as well. So it's getting that balance. And for me personally and my life, I have, from a very, very, very young age, been a mental health support to my family members. It's in my genetics, in my genes. Got a lot of people that struggle, but like really badly. You know, there's mental health, which we all suffer with, and then there's mental illness. And I've been exposed to mental illness at a very, very young age. So I had to grow up very quickly. And then I lost my dad. I always say a couple of years ago, and I don't like, again, the idea of time. I don't like to look at how many years, but it was probably more than just a couple of years ago. And with that, you know, you're showing up in the office and you're giving your best self and you're putting on this face and you're suppressing how you actually feel, and you're showing up and you want to be the top biller and you want to show up for your family, but then you also want to grieve your dad and you've got to go to that person's party and you owe that person a present, and it's like, oh my God, I'm exhausted just talking about it. So what happened? All of that blew up in my face and I threw myself into work, and my body started saying, Jessie, you know, you're doing things wrong. And I lost my voice completely. Like, I could not, I sounded like this. I couldn't speak. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor literally looked me in the eye and just said, you need to change your lifestyle, hun. Like, he didn't say hun, that would have been unprofessional. But yeah, he just said, you know, you need to change your lifestyle. You need an operation. You need 2 operations, but I can't operate on you because you will not heal. Your glands are up, you're ill. Like, I was ill every week. My whole body was just like, nah, mate. So I thought no, I've cut ahead of the story. So I was registered to silence. Jessie, do not speak. As a salesperson that can't speak, I lost my purpose. I lost my meaning. I lost everything. But when I stopped speaking, I could finally hear myself. And that was saying, Jessie, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like, I've always been the person that says, oh, in 5 years, I'm going to be a yoga instructor and a writer. In 5 years, I'm going to be a yoga instructor and a writer. And it was weird because when I couldn't speak, I finally started writing the book that I may or may not tell you about. I'm not sure because it makes me cry. But I started writing my book and I thought, when was I happiest in my life? And I was happiest in my life, believe it or not, when I was in the Indian Himalayas studying the art and philosophy of yoga. So I thought, okay, well, fuck it. I'm going to book a one-way flight to Bali and go and study the art and philosophy of yoga. And that's what I did. I only got back a couple of weeks ago. And when I was there, I thought, you know, what do I really want to do? Like, and I knew that I didn't, not just a yoga teacher, because yoga teachers they've made me who I am today, but I didn't want to I wanted to make more of an impact in the sense of actually go into something that meant something to me. So I created Woga, which is a corporate wellness business. So yes, that's my story. Do you want the good news or the bad news? Which one first? I'm going to give you both, obviously. Bad news. Bad news first, always, guys. Come on, come on. The bad news is, and I am sorry to say, but we are all deficient in positivity and happiness. We are. But it's not actually our fault. So believe it or not, but back in the caveman days, I don't know which one of these guys is a caveman. I just thought I'd get like historical and funky. But yeah, back in the caveman days, they didn't have Ring doorbells, shockingly. So they had to constantly be on alert in case a tiger came, right? So we have innately been built and created to constantly be on the lookout for anything bad that might happen. So as that's evolved through time, we are now on the lookout for emails, Slack messages, WhatsApp, Instagram messages, and scarily, more scarily than actually if a tiger was in this room, the effect of that email does the same thing to your body and your nervous system as this fucking tiger did way back when. And if you think about how many emails versus how many tigers, we're in this deficiency. The other part of it is you can notice an angry face in a room much quicker than a happy face. Happiness is a much weaker emotion than sadness or negative emotions in general. Let's say you got £1 million, which actually isn't that much these days. So let's say you got £10 million. You'd be happy. But what about if you lost £10 million? You'd be really, really unhappy. You know, the birth of a child is stunning, beautiful, baby bubble. Oh my goodness, don't want children yet, but maybe one day. Someone dies, I mean, that's just awful, right? You fall in love. Love is like a drug. It's like so happy, but you fall through a breakup, for that terminology will work. It's like grieving someone. You know, that emotion is so much stronger. So I've basically told you that you're miserable and unhappy. So that's uncomfortable. So I'm going to tell you the good news now. The good news is there are things that we can do about it. So does anyone, before I go, no. Does anybody know what neuroplasticity is? Anyone heard of it? Cool. No? Nice. I need to actually keep an eye on time because I don't half ramble. I've lost track of time, so just give me a wave. So this concept of neuroplasticity is the idea that you can create new neural pathways in your brain to send messages that you want them to pick up on. So basically, when we were younger, you know, this idea that your brain is like a sponge, it's because it is. We're creating new neural pathways all the time. And you're creating in the sense that you're learning to walk, you're learning to talk, you're learning new scenes, you've never been to the beach, and you're constantly creating all of these new neural pathways, and then one day they become fixed. And it was actually thought that you couldn't create new neural pathways and couldn't create new thoughts until studies showed that you can. So it's like that saying of you'd rather stay in an unfamiliar hell, familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven, right? So because those neural pathways have already been created, people get stuck and people don't go through this process of creating something new because taking it back to the very beginning of this presentation takes too much time. It doesn't happen overnight. And And I did want to talk you through a couple of ways of how you can create these new pathways, but I do want to check for time.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, cool. Nice. So, the first one is, and I'm thinking about how I want to share this one. How many of you have ever been told something that you still remember today, that's stuck with you and become part of who you are? Yeah? And how many of you have heard something that has made you cry, or you've made someone else cry? Yeah? Yeah, we all have. I was going to read you something that might make you cry, but it'll make me cry. So maybe just let's hook up after this and I can read it to you later, because I just don't fancy it right now. My heart's racing just thinking about it. But it's the book that I was talking about. Anyway, tangent, right, let's go. So the idea is that your words are really powerful. Yeah? Yet we're all throwing out and spitting words like they mean nothing. But actually, your words are a really crazy black magic that if you tap into the power of your words, you will be amazed at the difference in your mindset, in your happiness, in your life, in your ability to seek purpose. So I will give you a very easy example. There's a couple of words here that we should avoid like the plague. But the word can't. So I can't go to the gym today. Actually, I choose not to go to the gym today. And it's not just the words that we say to other people and how we communicate with others. It's the words that we use in our head and in our thoughts and how we speak to ourselves as well. And I think this, for me, changing my words, and don't get me wrong, you've probably heard me say quite a few of these words right now, it's just an awareness. And once you bring that awareness, like my friends always say to me now that they get really annoyed because I'm halfway through a story and I'm like, wait, stop. Let me think about how I'm going to phrase this, because I don't want to say bad things, which when I was working in sales, my managers always used to get really annoyed at, because I'd be in a pipeline review telling them that everything was coming in and, it just wasn't. But yeah, standard. Okay, so the first thing that we can change and that we can work on, and a big thing that helped me to leave corporate and seek calm, was changing my words. I think the next one's a bit jarring, but I want you all to take yourself to a situation that, it is a Friday afternoon, you've been let out of work early, and you're in the car on the motorway, the sun is shining, you're going to meet your family, or you're going to meet your friends, and you're going to grab a beer, or if you don't drink, nice, whatever it's called. And there's a massive crash on the motorway, and you are going to be in the car for at least an hour. The sun is shining, you've had a long week at work. How do we feel? I mean, we're pissed off, right? You're annoyed. We can't help it. It's an emotion that comes to us, right? What if I told you that in the crash, 3 people had died, and those people are never going to be able to see their family again? They're never going to be able to see the sunshine again. They're never going to be able to go to work again. So the second power, and the second thing that's changed my whole life is the power of perception. And it's how we choose to look at things. And it's a small shift in that ability that makes a massive difference. The final thing that I want to bring to your attention that you can use as a tool, as a power to help you in any situation. Because everyone has this. Can anyone guess what it is? Everyone in this room has this power. Regardless of what I just said, everyone in this room, anyone want to guess what it is? You want to know your superpower? Come on, my friend.
Choice.
No, but I appreciate that. What's your name?
Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. Anyone else want to take a throw at it? Putting you all on the spot now. Right, it is the power of your breath. Oh, there we go. Should it always speak up, you know? Say it. Live loudly, babe. Cool. So, it's the power of your breath, and this is where I am going to tap into my studies in the Himalayas and in Bali, you know, and just give you that tool of meditation, because I think this idea of meditation is been so ruined that, you know, it's so you've got to meditate for hours, or you've got to have no thoughts in your mind, and it's taken away from the purpose of the breath and the power of the breath. So in Indian philosophy, your breath is known as your pranayama. Anyone know what your pranayama is? It's your life force. Yeah, your pranayama is your life force. So for me, I mean, you can probably tell I'm quite a high energy person. I don't want to say I never meditate, I do meditate, but for me, meditation is completely different. For me, meditation is finding my breath. Why is it so impactful for me? I can tell you exactly why it's so impactful for me. I remember exactly when I connected with my breath. It was a rainy day, the train was late, and my pipeline was shit, and I was not having a good day. And I remember being at the station, I think I was like crying, just having this moment, and I just started to look at like mindfulness and meditation, and I thought I would practice the breathing. And I had this moment where this breath and connecting with my life force reminded me that I'm here and my dad isn't. And I don't care if the train is late. I don't care if it's raining. I have more possibility than he ever will again, and more opportunity than he ever will again. And I'm not saying that everyone in this room should, or I hope not everyone in this room has lost someone, but what I'm saying is that as soon as you connect your breath with a purpose, so maybe the purpose is that you can go and feed your dog. Maybe the purpose is that you can go home and hug your partner. Maybe the purpose is that you can go and take your older mum her shortbread biscuits that she loves. But whatever it is, it gives you an instant sense of relief when you do turn to techniques of mindfulness or meditation, because it gives that breath that you're being pushed to connect with a sense of gratitude to send through your body. And I think that it changed my life, because in any moment that I was overwhelmed, all I needed to do was just realise I was breathing, and I realised all was well in the world. So I wanted to do a very quick breath work with you, but I think I'm pressed for time. So thank you so much for listening. And yeah,